Look at the skin on the back of your hand. Whatever color it was chosen for you thousands of years ago by the sun in a place you have probably never stood. Not by your parents, not by chance. By a slow, silent negotiation between sunlight and your own blood, running for 100,000 years across the surface of the planet. And the real story is stranger than the one you were taught, because the thing your skin color is actually protecting has almost nothing to do with sunburn. By the end of this, you'll never look at the word race the same way again. Because skin color turns out to be one of the youngest, shallowest, and most misread features of the entire human body. Start with a fact that should stop you. Every single person alive descends from ancestors with dark skin. All of them, the pale hand, the deep brown hand, the olive hand, everyone traces back to the same dark-skinned people in Africa. Lightness came later. So the real question was never why some people are dark. The question is why anyone turned light at all. And that is where it gets strange. To answer it, you have to understand what your skin is quietly fighting. Not heat, not cold, ultraviolet light, the invisible part of sunlight, the part that gives you a sunburn without you feeling a thing until it is done. The person who mapped this better than anyone is an anthropologist named Nina Jablonski, working with the geographer George Chaplin. They laid human skin tones across a map of the Earth's ultraviolet radiation, and something jumped out. Skin color follows sunlight. Near the equator, where the sun is brutal, people evolved dark skin. Far from it, toward the poles, people evolved light skin, almost like a dial turning with the strength of the sun. But why would the body bother? Here's the first half of the answer, and it surprises almost everyone. Strong ultraviolet light destroys a molecule in your blood called folate. Folate, also known as vitamin B9, is the thing your body uses to build DNA and to grow a healthy baby. Run low on it, and a pregnancy can go badly wrong. So under a punishing sun, your body faces a real threat. The light is quietly bleaching a vitamin your children depend on. Enter melanin. Melanin is the dark pigment in your skin, and it is essentially built-in sunscreen. More melanin means darker skin, and darker skin blocks more of that ultraviolet light before it can wreck your folate. So near the equator, dark skin is not a coincidence. It is armor. It protected your ancestors' ability to have healthy children generation after generation under a sun that would otherwise sabotage them. So if dark skin is such good protection, why did anyone give it up? Why isn't everyone dark? Because sunlight is not only a threat, it is also a tool, and here the whole thing flips. Your body needs ultraviolet light to make vitamin D. You cannot make enough vitamin D without it. And vitamin D is what lets you absorb calcium and build a solid skeleton. Without it, bones grow soft and bend, a disease called rickets. And a woman with a deformed pelvis from childhood rickets could die trying to give birth. So too little sunlight was just as deadly as too much, only slower and quieter. Now you can see the trap your ancestors were caught in. Skin needs to block enough sunlight to save its folate, but let through enough to make its vitamin D. Too dark for your latitude, and you starve for vitamin D? Too light? And the sun destroys your folate. Your skin color is the compromise your ancestors' bodies struck between those two dangers, in the exact spot on Earth where they happen to live. Walk it around the globe and it clicks. In the tropics, sunlight is so intense that dark skin can block plenty and still make all the vitamin D you need. So people stayed dark. But as humans wandered north into weak, slanting, winter sun, dark skin became a liability. There was barely enough ultraviolet light to go around, and dark skin blocked too much of it. So over thousands of years, in those low sunlight regions, lighter skin was favored. Paler skin, let the scarce sunlight through, just enough to keep the vitamin D flowing. The dial turned toward light, not because light is better, but because the sun up there is weaker. And now the twist that dismantles the whole idea of neat racial categories. Light skin did not evolve once. It evolved separately more than once in different places using different genes. The lighter skin of Europeans and the lighter skin of East Asians came from largely different genetic changes, solving the same problem on opposite sides of the continent. Two groups arrived at pale skin by different roads. So there is no single light lineage and no single dark one. There are only bodies adjusting again and again to the sun overhead. It gets shallower still. The pale skin common in Europe today is shockingly recent. Genetic studies point to key changes spreading only within roughly the last 8 to 12,000 years, tied to a gene often labeled SLC24A5. On the timescale of our species, that is yesterday. The people who painted the caves of Ice Age Europe likely had much darker skin than their descendants there now. Skin color has been sliding back and forth across human populations the entire time, always chasing the sun. There is one more wrinkle that proves the rule. Some peoples in the far north, like traditional Arctic groups, kept fairly dark skin despite living where the sun is weakest. That looks like it breaks the pattern, until you notice what they ate. A diet rich in fish and marine mammals is loaded with vitamin D. They did not need to lighten their skin to catch scarce sunlight, because they were eating their vitamin D instead. Food filled the gap the sun could not. The rule held. Only the path around it changed. So what does all of this mean for you, standing here now, with a body built for a sun your ancestors lived under and not necessarily the one above you today? It means your skin color is a message from a specific place and a specific sky, and it is often out of date. We migrate across the planet in hours now. A person whose ancestors spent millennia under tropical sun may live where winters are long and gray and struggle to make enough vitamin D. A person built for weak northern light may live under a fierce sun their skin cannot fully block. That mismatch is one reason vitamin D deficiency is so common, and why doctors watch it closely. Your skin is following instructions written for a place you may have left generations ago. And it means the thing people have fought and bled and built cruel hierarchies over is, biologically, almost nothing. Skin color is a thin surface layer, a sunscreen setting, tuned by ultraviolet light over a few thousand years. It tells you where your ancestors stood under the sun. It tells you nothing about their minds, their worth, or how closely you are related to anyone else. Two people with very different skin can be more alike, deep in their genes, than two people who share a shade. So look again at the back of your hand. That color is not who you are. It is a map. A record of exactly how much sun once fell on the people you came from, and the quiet deal their bodies made to survive it. Written by the sun, in a place you have probably never stood, and handed down to you without a word.